What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Redriveraviation. Hope you guys had a fantastic day today. And today I have a very important video for you guys. Today we're going to be talking about the 22nd anniversary of 9/11/2001 and really go into detail about, obviously, what 9/11 is all about and just a different way of thinking about it today. Because since the last time I made this video, as you guys probably know, since I think 2020, I've been making these annual videos regarding 9/11 just to commemorate, the effort that was put out towards saving so many lives and obviously really commemorating every single person that lost their life. I believe it was 996 people, which is it's tough to even put words on. But today I really wanted to take some time to reflect on it in a different way and really appreciate with regards to all the lives that were saved and everybody that made an effort to help that day and how tough it was. So let's go ahead and get started with today's video. So I decided not to use any supplemental material today because I decided this would be more of a critical thinking video today. We've been doing more of those style videos lately, and I think that there certainly has their benefits to it of really thinking critically and not looking at any particular material. So my thoughts regarding 9/11, it is first and foremost a super tough day. That anybody affected by 9/11 or anybody that is, directly related or has any affiliation, I'm truly sorry if you lost a relative or anybody that you knew. It's heartbreaking. Obviously it's crazy to think that a few people can lead to such a tragedy like this event. Obviously, the four aircraft cockpits getting overtook just like that is, you can't really fathom that till it happens. And that's what happened 22 years ago. And I'm also sorry that this video is a couple days behind schedule. Unfortunately, I was gone and not able to make the video when I wanted to. But with regards back to the important part here, yeah, it's certainly tough. I don't know how one can fathom that. Obviously it's challenging to relate since I wasn't even born at that time and I couldn't see, what it was like, when it happened. But, my mom has told me several stories about that. She was like 34 weeks pregnant with my brother or something like that. It was kind of crazy. And she has told a very vivid story, excuse me, of her and my grandfather eating lunch one day, or no, it was breakfast. I apologize, breakfast, and seeing that on the news, and that was yes, TVs were around during that time, according to her, and that was really crazy to hear about how big of shock it was, obviously, because nothing like that has ever happened to this point in the United States history. At this point, with airplanes and everything, so you never would have expected somebody to even fathom doing something like that. But what this event taught us was that, and obviously, the way that I really want to think about this, obviously, it's challenging to fathom 2,996 lives. I'm sorry, I can't even put my finger on it because considering how large of a number that is, 3,000 people. Many more affected, many more injured, many more wounded. That's tough. That's heartbreaking to think about. And like I said, for just a handful of people to contribute to that is just so disappointing. And it was awesome to see during that time people making efforts like on the United flight that landed or crash landed, I should say, in the field out there in Pennsylvania, I believe Western Pennsylvania, that the passengers made an effort to try to save the plane. That's awesome. And people standing up for what they knew was right and doing it in that moment. You could talk about that from a morals perspective, an ethics perspective, circumstance perspective, however you'd like to situate that. But it really is awesome to see what we saw there, in addition to everybody on the ground that was trying to save lives. Obviously, you had so many people. I can't even fathom getting down to a decision whether I'm going to jump out of a 20-story building in New York or not. That's tough to even process, even thinking about getting to the point where you're doing that or you're falling. How do you even get to that point? So it's really crazy. And obviously there was so many people in the surrounding area as well, and I applaud all the firefighters and police officers and each and every person that made an effort to save as many people as they could, because there certainly were people saved, and that was awesome. And it's really, really tough to still think about the 3,000 people that unfortunately lost their lives that day, and the thousands of people that were affected because of it. Is You can't fathom it. It changed not only the United States, but aviation as we know it today. So many implications that came from it, including obviously now what we know with TSA. it's just you never thought that, we were in 2000, we never thought that it would be even a thought to go through heavy security while going to a plane. The concept was you went up to the ticket counter, you bought your ticket, and you were on the flight. But obviously, as technology progressed, as various let's see, what's the best way to phrase this? I'm trying to think of how I'd like to present this. As mind concepts came up, people had different thoughts, and unfortunately, they were very devastational in how they executed those. And again, it's even tough to think that somebody would even come to that point to have that. But what I want to recognize today is those 3,000 people, and in addition to everybody that made an effort to save a life. And, obviously intentions are so big. You can talk about intentions, you can talk about motives, you can talk about circumstances, you can even go back to morals and ethics if you'd like. But the fact of the matter is, 9/11/2001 was a really challenging day for United States, the aviation industry across the world, and really the whole world. And it's so awesome that they've implemented security and made travel one of the safest forms of transportation in the world. Obviously, I won't get too sidetracked with regards to 9/11 itself, but you've seen the security efforts that have been made across the world, and how many people have got busted before even going through TSA. It's unfortunate that people would even think of taking that through TSA with the knowledge that we have now, 22 years after the event. But it's really nice to see that obviously we have a system in place to prevent what we had on 9/11/2001, and that's why it's so important. Again, it's a really sad event. I feel for each and every one of you that has had that any sort of affiliation or heartbreak from 9/11. It's really sad. It's tough to think about. I know I have several younger viewers like myself that were not born during this time, or were too young to remember what 9/11 meant in 2001, and obviously the years to follow, until we got to a new level of a new era, obviously. Then you have events like obviously not tragedy by any means, but culture shocks borderline with the 2008-2009 recession, and of course most recently the 2020 pandemic. It's a similar concept in regards to it's time to assess where we are and reevaluate and lead into a new era. Obviously, and tragedy is completely different than illness. Obviously, it's a completely different concept in that regard, but they do share some similar principles in regards to how the world was evaluated during that time. So, that's all I can really compare 9/11 to, unfortunately, is the 2020 pandemic, since I wasn't there for 9/11 and couldn't speak on it. I was 2 years from being born there, but you can obviously talk about with regards to 2020 pandemic, how a new era had to start. I'm sure it was a similar feeling for that time, having to start a new era, obviously with TSA being reevaluated and all of the measures that the airports had to make. It was devastational. Nobody wanted to fly. Nobody wanted to leave their house. Nobody wanted to go to work. That's tough, and I'm not a professional on this topic by any means. I don't have proficient knowledge to give a full assessment, but I've read quite a few articles, particularly for airport research, and what I kept coming to was the devastation for not only that the New York community and the entire United States, but obviously the entire world. This was a huge effect, and similar concept to obviously the war that is going on across the world from last year that you could talk about as well. And it's tough. The amount of magnitude that goes into that is certainly something that should not be what's the word I'm trying to look for here? That should not be neglected, period. It's really important to think about. And this is why it's really important to thank those TSA officers when you're walking through an airport. It's really important. We can obviously have the talk regarding thanking gate agents, ramp crew, everybody in the industry, and it's very important. And we do that on a regular basis. At least I do, and I hope that each and every one of you do as well. But especially 9/11 for the TSA officers that are currently working, it's a very important time to thank them, because they have saved tragedy, and that's really special. And I'm really, really appreciative, thankful, and show a tremendous amount of gratitude for their efforts to continue to keep us safe each and every day. And that's absolutely awesome that they take their time and effort, because obviously TSA is, it's a subjective topic, but some people would say it's probably not the funnest job, and that's a fair argument. And there's also some people that can say it's very fun if you make it. I also think that's a really good way to look at it as well. But those TSA officers could have picked any other job that they wanted to, and I really appreciate each and every one of them taking the time. Most people think it's a hassle to go through TSA, right? So most people will take it to regards of being an inconvenience for them. But truly, what TSA's purpose is to be of safety to them. And this is a big live topic, and one I would like to talk about on this channel at some point, even though it's more of a vice concept rather than an aviation concept with regards to how you approach each situation. I think that there's plenty to be took away from that, and TSA is a prime example of that. With regards to, instead of seeing TSA as an inconvenience, you can see TSA as a safety measure, and that's exactly what it is. And at some point on this channel, I would really like to go more in detail about different ways to see situations and why your life quality can be drastically improved by that. And that's a really good one right there. And we certainly will talk about that at a later time. But with regards to 9/11 itself, it's truly devastational, heartbreaking, and just beyond sad what happened that day. And again, it's something that I take very seriously. It's a very important topic, and I hope for each and every one of you that it is as well. And I hope that each and every you recognize, you can obviously look through social media posts, news articles online, and word of mouth, what happened that day and the flights that took place and the travesty that came from it. But the application of how many people made sacrifices to save people, how many people went into the details of I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing train of thought. This is a really in-depth concept. How many people have made an effort to give us safety from this event? Obviously the event is very sad, and we cannot sit here and not recognize that. But in conjunction, I also think it's important to recognize what came from this event and why the world is the way it is today because of it. It's a significant event, and there's a reason that you see posts all the time about it on September 11th. It's a very important day, and it certainly needs to be recognized at the same time. It's just crazy to think about, not only what the event was itself, but also what's to come afterwards. And I hope that each and every one of you took away a perspective from this video, and hopefully gained some enhancement in this department. I hope each and every one of you did. I also appreciate, unfortunately, my birthday does fall on 9/11/2003, so that was 2 years after 9/11/2001. I never want to make a huge deal out of that, obviously, considering that it's a really sad day for my birthday to be on. It's not something I can control. It's just when it happened. But I greatly do appreciate each and every one of you wishing me a happy birthday. That was very nice of each and every one of you, considering what the day truly needs to be about, and that being obviously commemorating that situation. That probably, I'm trying to think of a better word choice there. That's not really the word I wanted to use. Recognizing what happened that day, and obviously thoughts and prayers going out for each and every person that was affected. It's tough. It really is. So I hope that each and every one of you was able to take away something from this video. It's a tough topic to talk about, and I certainly did not want to go this year without talking about it. I apologize that it was a little behind schedule, but this is how much it means to me. If it's going to be late, we're certainly going to talk about it, and that's what we're doing today. So I know it's going to be a couple of days behind schedule, but this is way too important of an event not to talk about. And going into the future, I continue to hope to recognize all these events and really talk about them. So sorry that this video wasn't the happiest today. It's a tough topic to talk about, but I always think it's important to recognize the event and obviously what came from it. So hopefully each and every one of you understands that, and tomorrow we'll have a happier video, I can assure you that. So I hope each and every one of you are excited for that, and I'm excited for the future to come. Again, this is a tough topic to talk about. and certainly one that is really challenging. We do not forget everybody that lost their life that day, and also had major life implications, because there was thousands of people affected by this, and that certainly does not go lightly in my heart, and I hope it doesn't in yours either. So, with all that being said, everybody, I really hope that each and every one of you were able to take away something from this video, and into the future, of course, obviously have a reflection and hopefully see, TSA and other various branches of or other various branches of the, I'm trying to think of security. That's what I'm looking for, of security in a new light, obviously for our safety, and other practical examples that I probably missed here. This is a topic that we could certainly go into immense detail on, but I know each and every one of you has many projects in your life, and I don't want to take away from that. So with all that being said, everybody, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I really hope that you guys took away something meaningful from it. We'll be back to a happier video tomorrow. I appreciate each and every one of you watching this video. It really means the world to me, and hopefully you're able to take something away from it. So thank you for watching. Hope that you guys all have a fantastic day, and we certainly will have a much more exciting video tomorrow. So hope you guys are excited for it. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day, everybody. Redriveraviation is signing off.